Welcome to my real world review of the OnePlus Open. This is no bullshit. This is me using this phone as a daily driver and giving you the absolute truthful experience, as I have paid for this phone with my hard-earned money. Actually, with the hard-earned credit card money. But that's not the point. Let's get into the review and talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Not so much the specs, but the performance of the OnePlus Open, to find out if this is a good phone for me and possibly for you. This is the ultra wide 0.6. Not bad, very wide. Can capture a great story, right? Here is the selfie camera. I don't even know if this is 4K, whatever. Doesn't look bad. It's great. It's not bad if you're a casual user, but much better. Can you see and tell the difference? Because I can, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love the main camera on this phone. It's a stack sensor. The footage is beautiful. I love it. I could never use that selfie camera again. I implore you to unfold this phone, point the phone at you, so now I can see in the bottom screen, and in the top screen has the camera and everything else. This is the way you should shoot with this phone. Focus is pretty good. Not bad. I'm coming from a OnePlus 8T. This is the phone that I've been rocking, and I've always been using third-party cameras or separate cameras to film my YouTube videos. But when I saw this phone, I thought to myself, maybe I can use this phone to shoot all my YouTube videos, to do all my multitasking at work. Maybe the cameras are just that good in the day and in the night. And I'm telling you, you can see for yourself, this camera does a phenomenal job, especially since you can turn on the flash that's right at the top there if you're ever in a low light situation, and boom, you got yourself some light. Whereas if you have a camera like this doesn't come with a flash. So if you're filming at night and you forget your flash, well, you're kind of out of luck. You can't film unless you have enough light. And the fact that this phone just seems to have everything, and the footage looks phenomenal at night. This just seems like an all-in-one solution, and that's one of the main reasons why I picked up this phone for content creating. So you can zoom in. Look at that, 2x. This is 3.7x. Wow, it doesn't look bad at all. 6x. Now you can see all the pimples on my face. Yeah, 6x kind of starts to look mushy, especially close up. That's because the sensor in this camera, it may be a high megapixel. I think it's like 60 megapixels or something. I'll put it on the screen over here. But that telephoto camera, be it in 3x, that's the actual cameras in 3x. So let's go to 3. This is the secondary camera, the zoom camera as you would call it, or the telephoto camera as you would call it, which looks really good in the day. But at night, this camera does not look good because the sensor is only a 1/2 inch sensor. It's smaller than the main stacked 1/1.7, I believe it is. So in low light, I would not recommend you use the 3x. Now we're on 0.6. This is the other lens, right? The ultra wide lens, which is very ultra wide. But look at my hands at the end. There is some distortion there, but it does capture a lot of real estate, and it looks fairly okay. I won't say this looks like great video. It is 4K, but I won't say it's great. I would say it's okay. Look at this footage at night. Do not use this ultra wide at night unless you're in somewhere that's very well lit, because your face starts to look mushy. The image starts to get grainy, and that is a problem. Very noisy area. As you can see, there's a highway behind me. How is that for an audio test? There's a toggle that you can toggle on to kind of mute the audio in the back over here. And now I'll hit that button now in DaVinci, and you'll actually hear how it sounds. Tell me how this sounds. Now, this sounds a lot better, especially if you're just listening on your speakerphones. You can probably hear me clearly now and not the cars in the background. But this could be an issue for you to consider if you're editing on your smartphone. What if you're using this phone for editing too? I mean, This phone costs a lot of money. It has the open out screen, which is a huge advantage for editing. You might want to check and see if your editing program has a noise cancellation mode on your phone, and if it really works good like DaVinci. But you hear it for yourself. Let me know what you think. Also, this is HDR. You tell me how the HDR content looks. You can only go from 1x, I think, to 3x on the HDR. No, you can go to 6x on the HDR, which is the digital crop. Let me know what you guys think. Can I back all the way out? It's only allowing me to go to 1x on HDR. So apparently HDR doesn't have the ultra wide view. Let me know what you guys think of the HDR compared to the regular footage of me standing here and talking to you. I think the HDR is just very contrasty and just adds a lot of contrast. I personally won't use it, but it's there if you need it. Now that I'm stabilized and I can walk and do stabilized stuff and this footage is nice and smooth, the only problem is it's in 1080p. It's nice that they give you the stabilized footage as well in the main camera and the ultra wide, which is really nice. It's a bummer it's in 1080p though, and it's a bummer that you can't zoom in and zoom out while you're recording. So if you wanted to go wider or slower, no, you're just stuck in that focal length until you stop recording. Once you come out of that stabilized mode though, you do have full control to zoom in and to zoom out. And just for the record, this is what the non-stabilized footage looks like when I'm walking. You tell me if there's a massive difference between the stabilized and the non-stabilized. You know, maybe unless you're doing something really extreme, you don't need that stabilization. And typically, once you put a camera in ultra wide mode, then you really don't need any stabilization at all, because the camera's just so wide, it kind of helps to stabilize itself. Well, you tell me, do you really need stabilization? So you could probably get away with 4K 60, wide angle, no stab needed. You tell me.
And again, there's a lot of other more features for you to try here in the more section that is pretty cool, like the night mode. The night mode is not there for video. It's only there for photos. The videos, however, they are no slouch. You don't really need a night mode per se. Check this video out that I shot last night. The videos that this main camera shoots is just amazing. A night mode is not really needed. However, I'll welcome a night mode as well.
The long exposure photos, as you can see, it's a really nice feature that they added in, but it just does need a lot of work. There is no manual settings or even exposure settings to raise or lower the exposure, and as a result, you kind of get what you get out of the camera. So a really nice feature to add, but definitely needs a lot of work, a lot of refinement, because none of these three photos at any one of these three focal lengths, in my opinion, is usable. So OnePlus, if you're seeing this video, please maybe give it a software update or two, adjusting the algorithm and making it better quality and giving us some more adjustability.
The dual video mode is good, uses the front camera and the back camera to film. So yeah, you can kind of see what I'm filming at the top here. That's you in the camera looking at me, and the bottom there is the camera behind. So kind of cool, maybe a little gimmicky. It has other features there too, like the panorama mode, the time-lapse mode, which I don't use much, and then there is slow motion. Check out this slow motion shot of my drone taking off yesterday. I filmed it with this phone. As a matter of fact, there's my last video on my channel. Prior to this, I used this phone to film everything, the slow motion, the main camera, everything except the actual drone flying. 240 frames per second, which is very good, but again, it's only available at 1080p. That's a little bit of a bummer. I would have loved some 4K slow motion in my life. The Pixel is probably a better point and shoot camera. You probably will get better results going around and just snapping photos, hitting the shutter button if you're not a pro camera user or you're not passionate about photography and you just want good photos. But if you take the time on this phone to learn these cameras and the weaknesses and when it takes good shots and when it doesn't take good shots, then you will get some stunning results. Look at these photos that I took recently. while walking around in the city, stopping at some museums and just snapping some photos. And believe it or not, whether I'm indoors or outdoors at night, I put my phone into night mode. The night mode on this phone is absolutely phenomenal. Slide all over to more section and just click that night and shoot all your photos with night mode. I find that if you were to compare like these two photos, one was taken in night mode and the other one was not. Another thing worth highlighting in the more section over here is the expand mode. This expand is phenomenal. This turns your camera vertically or horizontally and takes some really stunning photos. Look at these samples. I was in the cathedral last night in the city, and man, oh man, I fell in love with this expand mode. And not only that, but when you're viewing these photos on a widescreen, it just makes it that much pleasurable, knowing that you will have an experience looking at these photos on a nice big bright screen that the majority of people with their slab candy phones will not be able to experience. Look at that expand photo, just looks marvelous on this phone. And the expand also has an option to do black and white, so you could toggle between black and white, snap the photo, or the colored version. It's absolutely phenomenal. That expand is definitely the way to go, especially when your phone is folded and you have it like a typical slab candy bar phone. I think the expand just looks good. It captures such a wide array. Photos in general on this phone just look absolutely more stunning just because of the ability to open the phone and access this wide screen. It's just not the same as watching a photo on a regular phone. As you can see, it's just a lot more full and brings these photos to life. There's this feature called movie for video. When you click on that, then you have full controls over here, and you actually can take this out and in log profile. So log profile is what you shoot when you want high dynamic range out of a video, and it's so cool that this phone can actually shoot log, which is insane. In the wide angle camera, and even the 3X has it as well, which is pretty cool. If you're shooting movies, you definitely want the best camera, and that would be the 1X. So really nice, but there is no log profile on the regular camera mode, only in this movie mode. And when you're in the movie mode, there's no way that you can turn this around and use the selfie camera to shoot yourself in movie mode. There is no way to get that to display over here. Why can't we get the controls and the video to display over here? I do not know. It's only available with the screen turned back like this. So OnePlus, if you're listening, if you can give us a selfie mode for the movie, that way we can access the high dynamic range, that would be awesome. And that's a huge bummer for me. No selfies in high res video. Now let's talk about some of the things that I really don't like about this phone. I'm sure you've heard there's no wireless charging. IPX water resistance is very poor, so it can barely withstand a splasher, so at least that's what it says in the rating. When you lay this phone flat on a surface, it rocks and it shakes, whether it's open or even if it's compacted closed, because, well, that camera bump is a thing. And two things that really annoy me: trying to move pages from one over to the other, changing the order of the pages. Literally, I can't even highlight all of my icons and move it over a page at the same time. It's not possible. I literally have to move one by one. That's a simple Android thing. Why can't you allow us to do quick customizations like that? That can save us a lot of time, OnePlus. Please, if you can, add that little feature. Sometimes I shoot footage at 60 FPS and it comes out 59.4. So I don't know why that's happening all the time. As you can see, all these videos were recorded around the same time, same date. If I click on this and you look over here where it says file, you'll see that it's 60 FPS. If I select the next clip, it's 60, next clip 60, next clip 60, all shot at the same time, same camera, 60 FPS. Boom. What's up with this 59.4
1.940. Like, how am I supposed to put that in a 60 FPS timeline? It just wouldn't play. What's the use in having great cameras if you can't integrate it into your workflow?
When I hit close all, most of the time it says, look, your system is in optimal condition, but when I pull up back, there's still some apps open. I can hit close all again. They do not close. I don't know why that happens a lot to me, and then I have to manually close my last couple of apps. So that seems like a simple fix too. And the last but not least, which probably annoys me the most on this phone, is that certain Google apps, when you open it, it has this strange color. I like my phone simple. I like the colors in my background not to be this off pink, blue. It changes. Sometimes when I swipe down, it's gray today. Tomorrow it's blue. Another time it's red. It is thoroughly annoying. Now people say you can go to your settings, go to color, hit colors for the wallpaper styles, and just toggle between any one of these. But the bright, the active, the fresh, and the elegant all have colors that I don't like. Even if I go to the featured colors, there's colors there that I don't like. And even if I go to custom, it only allows me to customize these colors. I wish I could customize it to a silver or to a light gray, something that doesn't pop as much, and just keep it stock like that. And even when I go for one of these simple colors and I set it maybe to a blue, a nice shade of blue or something that's not too intrusive, by the time I put the phone down for a couple hours and pick it back up again, better believe it, it goes to red now, or blue, or some other color at the top there that I did not ask for because I just set it to a custom color. So what I found that works is setting a custom color right here, boom, from picking the colors from my screensaver, and then when I'm done, I close the phone, I swipe up, I select custom again, and I select the colors that are dark from my screensaver in the front. And that has given me the best results. But as you can see, as time goes by, when you open some of these Google apps, you do get some weird colors, like this pinkish color here that I really did not ask for. It's even in my email, so I have to go and reset it all over again. And that annoys me the most on this phone, and quite frankly is one of the main reasons why I've thought about returning this phone and getting rid of it and just sticking with something like pure Android on the Google Pixel Fold. But that Google Pixel Fold, after playing with it at the T-Mobile store, the bezels were just driving me crazy. The crease on this is noticeable, but it's not bad, but that pixel crease is just ridiculous. As you can see from day-to-day usage, this screen gets a lot of fingerprints on it, and even the outer screen as well gets a lot of fingerprints on it as well. But once it lights up, I don't really see them or care about them, and once the phone opens up and it lights up, you do not see the fingerprints either. It's only when the screen is off, and who uses a phone wide open with the screen off? I don't know. When this phone is folded out, my fingers fit nicely at the back here and help to wedge it to prevent it from falling or slipping, and gives me a nice comfortable resting point for operating and multitasking on this phone. Speaking of multitasking, this phone is a multitasking wizard. You can open up all the apps that you can possibly dream about, and this phone with the click of a button will multitask. So if I have Facebook open right now, I swipe down from the top, I can select another app, maybe Google Drive, and then automatically it pairs it up. I can slide this one over and get more real estate over here, slide this one over to the other side, get the more real estate there, and I can even select from my app drawer right here, which is nice without having to worry too much. Folders and previous videos, see I've been shooting this video, whatever. Or you can drag things like text messages and stuff and just drag it in there. You can drag YouTube in there, and now you get a third split screen. Swap sides, whatever you want, swap sides with them. There's a little icon here, you can expand it, and when you expand it, now you have this. You can swipe down and decide which one you want to expand. I do wish that certain apps were split screen. For example, my IR blaster, when I'm sitting on watching TV, I'd like to pull down, but as you can see, the IR blaster is not compatible. For the most part, the only two apps that I found not compatible is the IR blaster and the camera. You cannot run the camera in split screen. So again, OnePlus, if you're seeing this, it would be nice to run that camera and the IR blaster in split screen. Other than that, it's really nice. You can swipe over just like a regular phone and swipe between your apps. And this, of course, is when open and close. This operates just like a regular phone. Pretty cool, huh? You can send a blast out to all the TVs and the cable boxes in your home, and with the click of a button you have full control, and you even have menu control and input controls. You have more that you can also access from this. So this is a full suite of remote controls for all your televisions in your home and your cable boxes as well. And as my phone is ringing, I might as well mention that yes, this holds 2 physical SIM cards. So yeah, you can have 2 numbers on this phone as well. I plugged my T-Mobile SIM card into it and it just worked right from the get-go. I did not have to go into a T-Mobile store or make a call to T-Mobile at all. It was just plug and play. Not much bezels to talk about here. That was one of the main things that attracted me to this phone. It is using most of its real estate, which I thoroughly enjoy inside and out. And even when you fold the phone up, yes, you can use it just like your regular candy slab phone, and it's nice and comfortable in the hands as well. It's not too heavy either. It's a little thick and you will feel it. Now let's talk about the look and the feel of this phone, the hardware, basically the physical components, because that's a huge factor as well. Now this phone does ship with a case that kind of looks like the original phone, but not quite to the trained eye. On top of that, the side pieces right here, that has like a nice alloy silver kind of a look, gets covered up with this black. When you put it on, it just looks simple. The OnePlus logo, you lose that shininess to a black OnePlus cutout. Just doesn't look and feel the same. This has good grip, but the sides do not. As classy and nice and neat as the sides look, it's not the same when you put the case on, because now that shiny aluminum finish polish look gets covered up with plastic, and it just takes away from the look of the phone. Yes, you can use this phone without a case, but remember, your hands do grip at the side, and then when you take off both of these plastic pieces, it will get very, very slippery. It still is slippery in my opinion with the case on, but just not as slippery as with the case off. So you do not want to drop this. At least I do not want to drop this, because this is not cheap, and who knows what will happen if this phone drops. Fingerprint reader is very responsive. Coming from a phone with the fingerprint here, I thought that it would be a problem moving it to the side, but it's not, because when you pick the phone up, your thumb actually defaults to the side over here. And if not, you don't have to use the fingerprint. You can set the phone that when you pick it up, it automatically turns on, and the Face ID will look for your face, which is super fast and responsive as well. So you have a lot of options with this phone. Crank that brightness up, put that phone in HDR for Netflix and other streaming apps, and you will enjoy watching videos on this phone. The sound coming out of this phone as well is absolutely phenomenal, and that's one of the reasons why I can sit and watch Netflix movies with this, because it not only has 2 speakers at the top here, it has one at the bottom. I really wish it was 4. It would have been that much more, but I'm not going to complain. Also, the battery life on this phone is good. It's been lasting me an entire day, sometimes even sitting down and binging on Netflix a little bit. I will still have 30-20% after laying in bed just on my phone all of the time. I am pretty sure this will last you the day. It's great that it also comes with warp charging, so even if your battery does run low, you plug it in 30-40 minutes, you're almost back at 100% or at 100% and ready to give this phone another go. I was concerned that my regular phone holder that I have already had in my car will not fit because of this camera bump when the phone is folded for some reason or the other. But yes, your regular phone holder, you won't have to remove it out your car. It should fit, no problems, easy peasy. This phone, I believe, will definitely enhance the productivity and efficiency for someone who leans on their phone for a lot of things and they need it done very well. And I'm not getting any younger. As you can see, I'm wearing glasses now, so the big screen just in general does help. If you're just a casual phone user that uses your phone mostly to answer calls or text or look at the occasional email, you're not a big camera guy, you don't use your camera a lot, and your eyes are really great, you can see perfectly fine on your slap phone, then there may not be a reason to upgrade to this phone. But for me, yes. So you tell me in the comment section below if you like the OnePlus Open, if it's something that you're thinking about, why this phone may or may not work for you, and if there's anything else that you need to know about this phone that I probably forgot to mention, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. I'll try to answer your questions or make another video about it. And this concludes my review of the OnePlus Open. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Give me a huge thumbs up because it takes a lot of work and time to make these videos to help you guys make quality decisions and let you know what to expect if you were thinking about purchasing this phone. With that being said, I will catch you guys, well, whenever I can. Make sure you become a Patreon, guys. Big benefits to Patreon. Get direct access to me. Any questions? I'm right here on Patreon. Support this channel and there's benefits. Last Mini 2 went all the way to the UK.